In today's business and financial news, let's discuss Macy's and how it is closing quite a few stores in and by 2025. So, right now we're at the very end of 2024. We're recording this. It is December 27th or 28th, depending on where you are in the country. But in the news is Macy's. Do you all shop at Macy's? Did you stop by Macy's for some holiday treats over the last few months? We recently were at Macy's here in Chicago. So here in Chicago, the Macy's on State Street has a magical section on the 7th floor. Throughout the year on the 7th floor, this section of Macy's is called 7 on State. It has a variety of restaurants, casual dining. 7 on State in Chicago's Macy's State Street store serves delicious and inventive food at a rapid pace for shoppers on the go. Remember, Macy's on State in Chicago has a lot of floors. I think 7th is the top floor. That's just too many floors of shopping. But if you like Macy's and you're in Chicago and you're a tourist, you might stop by. You might not make it to the 7th floor all throughout the year if you don't know about it. But during the Christmas time, they transform the 7th floor into a winter wonderland. The images, the videos that I'm showing for this video are from a visit to Macy's 7th floor. So I was up there to get this item during Christmas time. They turn the top floor into a winter wonderland. There's lots of trees and Christmas decorations. People will take their kids up there to see everything for Christmas. They don't necessarily have toys, but they do have like all the decorations and some other items. So it is a pretty cool place to visit if you are in Chicago and you're a tourist and you want your kids to see more of Chicago winter Christmas, but maybe you don't want to wander around outside. All right, anyways, back to the subject of today's video, and that is the fact that a number of Macy's will be closing. So the corporation is closing some stores. Let's get some of the information. We just grabbed this article. This is by Retail Wire, and it's called Macy's Increases Store Closures to 65 by 2025. And this is dated for Christmas 2024. So to be clear, this news came out throughout the month of December because Macy's released its earnings report for Q3. It says Macy's has announced that it will now be closing 65 stores by the end of the fiscal year. This marks a greater number of closures than originally planned by the former retail titan. Here's what we know thus far. So let's just pause for a moment. This is top of mind, number one, because we took the videos of Macy's 7th floor, originally planning for that to be a short. If we knew that we were going to turn it into a regular video, probably would have filmed this a little bit differently, but it goes along with our content, so that's why you're seeing what's on your screen. Let's also pause for a moment and think about all the stores that have closed this year. Well, maybe not all of them, but the ones that are top of mind. So Express was the beginning of the year. And then we're ending this year with a group of closures that includes Big Lots, Party City, and now this news about Macy's. Back to the article. Macy's store closures by the end of year. Baller Alert. I don't know that Baller Alert was necessarily the best reputable source, but that's what Retail Wire is referencing. Baller Alert reported that the well-known department store chain must contend with changing retail trends and consumer preferences. Originally announcing 50 closures in February per CBS News, Macy's now anticipates closing 65 shops by the end of the fiscal year, according to the company's third quarter results report. So it went from 50 closures up to 65. During an earnings call, Tony Sprang, the CEO of Macy's, acknowledged the revised number and mentioned that the majority of closures would take place after the holidays. Let's see if they tell exactly when after the holidays. We now expect to close roughly 65 locations this year, in line with our typical cadence, he said. But is it in line with the typical cadence, Tony? This choice is a component of, quote unquote, a bold new chapter, a larger campaign that Macy's announced earlier this year. The company's plan calls for investing in 350 go-forward stores while closing 150 unproductive outlets, or around 30% of its total locations by 2026. A bold new chapter serves as a strong call to action, Spring said. It challenges the status quo to create a more modern Macy's Inc. We are making the necessary moves to reinvigorate relationships with our customers through improved shopping experiences, relevant assortments, and compelling value. So one thing that I personally dislike about Macy's is just how big the store is. It just feels overwhelming. It's always felt that way. Some people enjoy going through 7 floors of merchandise. I personally do not. I want to walk in, want there to be a good selection. I don't want to have to go up and down multiple floors and take the elevators. Unless of course it's for something unique like the 7th floor here, but during the year, a lot of people, well, just get online, find exactly what you're looking for, and keep it moving. Let's get back to the article. Macy's pledges to put an emphasis on providing its devoted customers with value and engaging in-store experiences when the closures take place. Concerns regarding employment losses and the effect on communities that depend on these establishments have been raised by the announcement, though. And then it says Macy's has upped its total store closure count again. Back in September, the retailer revealed that it would be closing 55 stores by the end of 2024. As part of its 3-year plan to eliminate 150 outlets, the firm had originally planned to close 50 underperforming stores by the end of this year, 2024. It upped that number to 55 in September and now 65 in December. So let's see how this worked out. I guess the 3-year plan originally was to close 50 stores, then they increased it to 55 in September, and now 65 in December. The article continues to speculate on which store locations may be closing. It says the closing store locations have not yet been revealed, so it mentions some locations. We don't know that for sure, so let's just keep going. The biggest things that have gone wrong at Macy's are the quality of the stores and the product assortment, global data retail analyst Neil Saunders said to the Daily Mail. And so over the years, customers have deserted it, sales have tumbled, and store productivity has gone down. All the metrics have gone in the wrong direction. Well, that's not very positive. Following Macy's announcement that it was redirecting funding to its in-house brands in yet another attempt to turn the proverbial ship around, news of these closures broke. Can you all name any Macy's in-house brands? I cannot, but yeah, I guess they're redirecting their funding to the in-house brands for this article. All right, we're almost to the end. It says The Street claims that as part of its rehabilitation effort, the store has revived or launched several other brands, such as State of Day and On 34th. Before the year ends, it originally intended to introduce a men's collection and a new children's brand. I've never heard of State of Day or On 34th. However, Macy's major rebranding is more than just reviving familiar names. According to reports, the mall mainstay is focusing more on its popular high-margin luxury goods in an attempt to draw in clients who have a little more money to spend. Okay, the business has stated that it will concentrate its efforts on designer fragrances, which are more reasonably priced than luxury handbags, for instance, but still feature well-known labels like Dior and Chanel. That is the end of the article. Raise your hand if in a time of high inflation and high food costs, your top priority is going to get designer high-end fragrances. I don't know anyone who's rushing out to get Dior and Chanel, Tom Ford, Creed, and Cartier and fragrances. But let us know in the comments. Do you all shop at Macy's? Are you concerned that your local Macy's may be on the list? Here in Chicago, we can pretty much assure you that that store on State Street is not going to be on this list.
Once Macy's closes, the mall usually goes shortly after that. And I know Macy's has been struggling in the past couple years, and some of their social media might be that, like the sponsored ad that I got from them on Instagram. Like, what is this? What is this dryer lint sweater that you're trying to sell somebody on your social media? Who, and those jeans, But anyways, I'm not the most stylish person, but I don't know who you're trying to win over with this. Like, seeing stuff like this does not make me want to run and shop at Macy's at all, let alone going into the store. Going into Macy's stores, they're a disaster. The only nice Macy's store that I've been into recently is the one in Chicago, but even that one's looking a little rough lately. And I know it could be expensive, updating these stores, to get, a younger clientele to come in there and shop. But then, you see this, like, the guy's gorgeous, but I'm like, what? What? Like, Macy's, come on, step it up, girl. Like, do better.
The heartbreaking store closures of December 2024. Party City plans to close all 850 of its locations. Macy's is expected to close 65 stores right after Christmas. Big Lots will close all its stores, around 900 locations. Sears has just shut down its last store. An era has ended. Walgreens is expected to close hundreds of stores in the next few months. Advance Auto Parts has announced it will close over 700 stores in 2025. Denny's will close 50 locations by the end of the year. CVS Pharmacy will begin closing stores in 2025. Sam Goody has officially closed its last 2 stores for good. Foot Locker plans to close hundreds of stores in 2025. Family Dollar will shut down over 350 stores in 2025. GameStop has already announced it will start massive closures in 2025. Rite Aid closed over 800 stores in 2025-2024 and will close more in 2025. Which one will you miss the most?
Seems like lots of Macy stores are closing, so it will be interesting to see what the final list is. Or even if the list will be final. They've changed the number of closing stores quite a few times, it seems, in the last year. So we'll see what they end up with. But that is the end of our Macy summary. Thanks for listening. See you soon.